Live Nation struggle is not over, Cameron.
Ooh, tell me about it.
So a couple weeks ago, we talked about how Live Nation had settled with the federal government.
Yeah.
And we had thought that was going to be the end of it. They were accused of being a monopoly. The Department of Justice has been pursuing them since the Obama era.
Yeah.
Since the Biden era, to try to get them to break up because they are an illegal monopoly.
This was like the decision where they were like, you need to get rid of like 13 amphitheaters.
Yeah. So they settled with the federal government.
Yes.
About a month ago, and we thought that was going to be the end.
That's the end of the story.
What we found out subsequently, which we covered in episode 38, is that instead of that being the end, several states have gone ahead with their lawsuit.
Oh, wow.
And so now we have the result of that lawsuit.
A jury found Live Nation unfairly created a monopoly over the ticket market. The jury reached its decision on the fourth day of deliberations. Live Nation settled with the Justice Department and several states back in March, but more than 30 states did not settle at that time, and they continued forward with this case.
Wow. Okay, so these are the state level suits following up after the federal decision.
Right. Ticketmaster owner Live Nation has been found guilty by a judge of running a monopoly and overcharging fans.
Wow.
Excuse me, not just a judge, but a jury. So this reporting comes from the BBC. Live Nation, the entertainment giant which owns Ticketmaster, has been illegally operating as a monopoly and overcharging fans. The concert venue and music festival owner could be forced to divest part of its business or even split from Ticketmaster.
Wow.
So one thing that I think it kind of gets lost on all this is they bought Ticketmaster in like 2010.
Okay.
So they haven't owned it really for all that long.
No.
And there were a bunch of stipulations and rules that they had to follow when they were allowed to purchase
when they made the original acquisition.
Which I bet I can guess. I bet you can guess whether they did or didn't follow those.
They definitely did not. I imagine like, having all of these problems that they caused themselves.
Yeah.
It was probably something that was in the contract initially.
Live Nation, of course, is pushing back. They're not taking this lying down. They're saying that the jury's verdict is not the last word on this matter, which is crazy work to say. Like we said, it could lead to them having to divest. And they were what the jury found is that they had overcharged customers by $1.72 on each ticket sold over a period of 7 years.
So I think I read this earlier this week, and I thought that was really low.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound like low to you?
It does seem really low.
Like, it feels like on like Ticketmaster in particular, you'll see like surge pricing. You'll see like there's
like junk fees.
All the time.
Fees.
And they're not $1.
Yeah.
It's not $2 of junk fees. It's like 40, 50, 60, sometimes 70, 80, 100, $200 of junk fees on top of your purchase. And then that's not even talking about like tickets that are getting resold or tickets that are going into like a secondary market.
Right.
So,
and this has nothing to do with the secondary market.
No, this is just all on
just their, I guess you could call it their primary market. So the California Attorney General, California, of course, being one of the many states involved in this suit, the California Attorney General Bob Bonta has said, quote, "There is credible evidence that Ticketmaster controls more than 70% of all major concert venues with exclusive ticketing contracts, and Live Nation controls 80% of the 80% of the major concert amphitheaters market."
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds very accurate.
So this is, it remains to be seen. This is ongoing.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of cover if and when it happens, what the judgment is going to be.
Yeah.
Is it just going to be a fine? In which case, like, who cares?
Yeah.
But it is possible that they might get broken up. Now, the thing is, in the United States, because of our kind of corporate environment, it's actually very, very difficult at this stage in our capitalistic journey.
Yeah.
For a company to actually get broken up.
For sure.
But this one is a potential for it because, like I said, they haven't really been merged for that long.
Yeah.
And there is clearly appetite to do this. And this is on the table.
There's a lot of, I think a lot of desire to see something happen with Ticketmaster. And I just think it would be, it's time, it seems like there are a lot of people who are invested in Ticketmaster and like at least if nothing else reining in Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
And to see it separated from Live Nation, I didn't realize that it was so recent.
Yeah.
That it was like a 20 teens acquisition.
For us, it's like we feel like they've just sort of been, I mean, like that's been 15, 16 years, but like, it still just sort of feels like it's been forever this way.
It does.
But
it feels invalid, especially with like the amount of the venues that are owned by Live Nation and Ticketmaster across the whole US. It feels very monopolistic and it feels very ingrained.
Yes, and I would say that part of that is because they've sort of over time just exercised more and more and more control.
Yeah.
It's possible that they wouldn't have been able to bring a suit like this 10 years ago, but Ticketmaster has done so much work, and including these crazy emails where you remember back in episode 38 we talked about the emails that they were sending to each other.
Oh yeah, they were like threatening emails.
Well, they were emails. They were like, "LOL, we're overcharging. People are stupid."
Oh, I do. Yes, yeah, I forgot about that.
It's like
I entirely forgot about that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're on the content.
You're on the content wheel.
Yeah, you just you do something. You do a video,
and you're like, oh, I forgot about this.
You move on. So besides the remedy, which could include them being split up, other things could include they might have to be forced to divest from certain theaters.
Yep.
They might be forced to they might be forced to allow other ticket sellers to sell tickets at their venues.
Yeah.
Because of course they have these
that I feel like was something that was discussed in the federal verdict, was that maybe there would be options for venues to provide their own ticketing.
They have very, very, very limited version of that in the federal, and this could go much further.
So diving into it, are these going to be like state by state decisions? Like if the state of California makes this decision, that'll just affect venues within California, or do you think there will be wider spread effects from this?
The way I understand it is that this is a complete all-in-one lawsuit.
Okay.
So all of the states, and I think there were 30 something states all involved in this lawsuit. They, like, when the federal verdict came down, like 6 or 7 states dropped out, and it wasn't all 50 who were involved in it. But many states and the federal government have been suing. The federal government dropped out, and then like 5 or 6 or 7 states also dropped out. The remaining states, some 30 something states, they're all still involved in one lawsuit.
So it's like a state level class action suit almost.
So there's one judge here, there's one court case, one jury, and so what this judge decides will then be the ruling that will impact
all 30 of the states,
and in fact probably all 50 of the states, because it's just going to be like these are going to be the prevailing rules for Ticketmaster going forward.
That's really exciting.
It is really, really exciting.
Yeah.
We talk about from time to time how these moments of control and these moments of like extreme like corporate grip on America actually create space for underground people to kind of get involved in stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, this is again another case where, okay, sure, this is going to benefit the AXSs of the world, definitely. But anytime there's any kind of shake up in a particular market, there is always going to leave room for smaller players to come in and do something.
Slide in and fill the space, create something new. When we're looking at the Live Nation Ticketmaster situation, what do you think would be the best case scenario? Especially when we're looking at it on the state level. Obviously, we're not able to make maybe the widespread decision that we would federally, but at least having these 30 states. What do you think the best case scenario or the best outcome would be for this situation?
Oh, my best case scenario, not even close. Force them to separate.
Yeah.
That is still on the table, even though it's a state level remedy. So for me, absolutely no question, break the monopoly.
Break them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Force them to compete again.
Yeah.
Because a monopoly, of course, a monopoly in practice is so just detrimental to an industry.
Yeah.
It sucks all the life and all the money out of an industry. Ticketmaster, I don't have the numbers offhand, but they've been wildly profitable.
Oh, absolutely.
So
wildly profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, small tours are absolutely just dying on the vine.
Yeah.
Even big tours are having difficulty being profitable. So all of this money is going somewhere, and apparently it's kind of all just going into Ticketmaster and Live Nation. So for me, for them to break up, cause competition to come back again, and hopefully we don't just get a situation where we have a duopoly or just like it'll still help, although I don't think this is going to be a magic bullet.
No, I think, obviously it is very problematic to have all of the venues owned by one person.
Yeah.
It's going to take away from opportunities for new artists, for independent artists, and it's going to consolidate. It makes it easier for organizations to push people out to keep you from playing venues, even if you're a larger artist. So I think this will be really cool in democratizing the live venue space.
Yep. Just the ability for artists to once again negotiate in a market, because you go into a market and if 80% of all, 90, 100% of all the venues that are, the capacity for your show are owned by one company, essentially you have no negotiating
You
leverage.
have no power. You have no leverage.
You can't say, well, I'm just going to go to this other venue instead. They gave me a better offer. There is no better offer to be had.
No, this is the one.
That's
this
why
is what's on the table.
Which is why monopoly is so detrimental, so dangerous.
In 2025, Live Nation CEO Michael Rapino took home an estimated $139 million.
That's his salary.
Yeah.
And then what's Live Nation's revenue?
I'd say it's like $25 billion.
$25 billion, which was, as we can tell here, 9% increase year over year.
Wow. So, these little venues are really struggling.
Yeah.
There's no money in music. There's no money in music.
So if you are in the live, if you're in the live music world, you're in the live ticketing world, this is obviously of very high importance to you.
Yes.
I would be curious to hear your take on it. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to be the likely result of this? Do you think this verdict is going to have any substantial change or impact on?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I guess we'll see. Cameron thinks hopefully. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Yeah.
Okay, we can be hopefully wholesome.
And beyond that, I'd love to hear what you think, what you might be doing, what your plans are, how you think this might cause you to move and shake differently.
Yeah.
Always interested in hearing about that. But this is a huge development in not only just the Ticketmaster story, but really about in live music in general. This could open the door towards a lot more, what's the word? Profitability.
Yeah.
That currently is just gone from the touring world.
Yeah.
So there's all the shakeups that are possible. I'm really excited to see and curious to hear what other people think. Thank you for watching the Wholesome Music Podcast, the DIY podcast for DIY musicians. My name is Augustus Watkins.
My name is Cam LJ.
We are doing this content at least twice a week, so please join us on the main feed. Like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Yes.